Tyson, your reaction? Yes, Tyson.
It's heavyweight boxing, boys. It happens. It happens. You get knocked spark out. It could have been me. It could have been you. It could have been anybody. In the heavyweight division, it's what happens. One punch away from being smashed, knocked out.
What, Terence? Was it a shock? What you watched?
No, not at all. I always stated that the better man was going to win today, and Dubois was the better man.
Were you surprised it was such a firefight? Did you expect it to be like that?
For me, yeah. Yeah, I think for me, it's a surprise.
What was your reaction?
Listen, after the first round, the first knockdown, when Daniel got up, I said to everybody around me, Daniel's going to win the fight. Everybody looked at me, I was crazy, because I saw something in Daniel's eyes.
Was it just the experience tonight, the fact that, you know, that the boxing pedigree that got to the fight?
No, I just knew Daniel, because after he got knocked down in the first round, the way I saw him get up and then not even looking at his corner and just concentrating on himself, and that was it.
Do you think that was the right time for the fight to be stopped, or do you think it should have been a couple of rounds?
Listen, the fight was supposed to stop in round 10 because his nose was bleeding so badly.
What's next to them? I'm hearing a rematch clause. If not, who do you want to see him fight?
Nobody wants to see the rematch.
Heavyweight boxing's biggest names were left in disbelief after Daniel Dubois secured a brutal TKO victory over Fabio Wardley in a dramatic and unforgettable battle. Despite being dropped early in the fight, Dubois managed to recover and turn the tide with constant, heavy pressure. The contest left many fighters amazed not only by Wardley's durability, but also by the fierce and decisive finish that brought their intense heavyweight clash to an end.
Then once Dubois' jab started landing, I told the guy sitting next to me, it's over.
I have to ask you, buddy, we saw moments where Don Charles seemed to be kind of slapping Daniel Dubois in the corner.
Right.
As a trainer yourself now, what do you make of it? Is that something?
Wake him up. You know, calm down and you got knocked down. So what? Wake him up. Once he started using the jab, it was over.
We know in the past Fabio's shown tremendous heart. He's done it again.
Well, listen, I love
tonight.
Fabio. He showed a lot of heart. Hell of a champion.
Oh, where did you get that?
I hijacked two guys coming in, man.
God bless you.
Fabio Wardley opened the fight in explosive fashion, scoring 2 knockdowns early on, with one coming as soon as the opening round. However, Daniel Dubois regrouped after the early setbacks and gradually shifted the momentum, responding with sharp, powerful combinations. As the rounds progressed, Wardley began to absorb increasing punishment under sustained pressure. By the 11th round, the referee stepped in to halt the contest, awarding Dubois a dramatic TKO victory.
My goodness, what a heavyweight fight. Daniel Dubois stops Fabio Wardley late in this one. Down with the first punch of the fight, Wardley to Dubois. Down in the 3rd round, Dubois. But then he got behind the jab and he found a measured attack. Fabio Wardley is made out of granite, his chin and his fist. Dubois, very measured, looked outstanding. He's a heavyweight champion yet again. An epic heavyweight fight that lived up to the hype. One of the best heavyweight fights you'll ever see because of the brutality. I think they should have stopped it much earlier. Does this mean we're going to see Daniel Dubois versus Usyk for a 3rd time? I really hope not. Wow, what a fight though. Just why we watch boxing. Epic brutalness, big meaty men throwing.
Heavyweight contender Ajay Cabale was seated ringside as Daniel Dubois secured a stoppage over Fabio Wardley. He described the clash as a fascinating encounter between 2 true warriors in the division. Cabale also noted how intense and dramatic the action became, adding that he would be more than willing to see the pair run it back in a rematch after such a memorable heavyweight battle.
Fight was very hard for 2 guys, you know, but I think for the crowd, but also a nice fight. Unbelievable. I like it.
Was you surprised about the heart that Daniel showed down?
Yes, 100% I was surprised. But, you know, Daniel gave a good performance. You know, he was in the first and then the 4 round, I don't know. He was 1 down.
Second, sorry?
In the 2nd round, he was down, and in the first round, he was down. And
first round and 2nd round, yeah.
Crazy. But he come back, you know. I like it.
Yeah, brilliant. And what were you thinking obviously as an interested party in a potential fight with Daniel?
Yeah, but I think all the fans won't see the rematch, huh, baby? He had rematch contract. Yeah. But yeah, we will see. Why not? I said this Daniel before. Why not? Me and Daniel, I think for the German fans it's a good big fight. But first of all, I think I'm the #1 contender for WBC. I wait for the straight.
After Daniel Dubois forced a stoppage against Fabio Wardley in their intense heavyweight showdown, Cabale spoke highly of both competitors. He described the bout as incredible and chaotic in the best way, also revealing that at one stage he genuinely believed Wardley had a chance to take control and win during the earlier rounds.
What did you make of that fight, Daniel Dubois, Fabio Wardley?
It was unbelievable fight, you know, it was very crazy, very hard fight. Yeah, I like it.
How did you see the fight progressing? When Fabio hurt Daniel in the first round,
Yeah.
did you think he was going to go on to win?
Yeah, but you know, this is heavyweight boxing. You know, first of all, when I see the situation, I think crazy that Fabio will stop the fight early, but you know, you see the result.
You see Fabio's face was bloodied, was a mess. How much heart and desire did they both show him there tonight?
This was very hard for him. You know, I think today,
Former British fighter Buddy McGirt reflected on the contest, labeling it a savage and highly unpredictable encounter. He pointed out that the opening round knockdown stood out as the most damaging moment of the entire fight. While he acknowledged Fabio Wardley's determination and fighting spirit, he also felt it ultimately wasn't sufficient to change the outcome. McGirt went on to suggest that, given how surprising the ending was, a second meeting between them could be warranted.
And Bill, TV joined by Buddy McGirt. Buddy, what a main event that was. What did you make of it?
Hell of a fight. I think the worst thing that happened was that knockdown in the first round. After that, Wardley was just looking for that right hand. No jabs, no defense, no left hook. Sorry, meat and chicken. You know what I mean? But it was a hell of a fight. He showed the heart of a champion, and I think there should be a rematch.
Do you think that created that false sense of like the fight was kind of heading towards Fabio's favour, that first round knockdown then?
When the knockdown happened, I was like, oh, but then in the third round, I was like, I don't.
British boxing coach Dominic Engel expressed his shock following Daniel Dubois' emphatic stoppage of Fabio Wardley. He gave credit to both fighters for the courage they showed throughout the contest, but also noted that Wardley's visibly damaged condition and the constant punishment he was taking made the referee's intervention seem almost unavoidable in the end.
Daniel Dubois, world champion once again done. You called this yesterday. I was surprised you called it because a lot of people pick Fabio, but I don't know you want Red to start. What a fight.
I'll tell you what, one of the best fights I've ever seen. One of the best fights. Fair play to Fabio Wardley. What a hard man he is. He didn't want to quit. His opponent didn't pull him out. And Daniel Dubois kept his composure. He kept his composure, stuck to the plan. He started to get a bit tired himself. He realised that Wardley's still got something in the tank. He kept pulling out of the bag. He looked dead on his feet. But what a fight that was. And listen, fair play to Fabio Wardley.
Engel also voiced a firm reaction to the referee's decision to halt the contest, suggesting that medical officials should have been involved sooner. He stated that, in his view, if the ringside doctor had already deemed Wardley fit to continue, then the bout ought to have been permitted to carry on, even with the sustained damage he was taking.
Comments online complaining about the referee, or maybe saying he should have been pulled out. What's your thoughts on that?
Listen, in a fight like that, because you've seen Fabio Wardley pull himself out from the brink of getting beat before, you can understand why Howard Foster didn't want to jump in the way. He gave him every chance he could, took him to the doctor twice, I think. And the doctor said, no, carry on. But personally, if it was me, I'd have pulled him out a round ago and saved him from that finish. He finished on his feet, but he took far too many shots.
Where did Daniel Dubois' heart? Everyone all this week's been bringing up him, waiting, and not getting back up, questioning his heart, and he showed a lot tonight.
Well, I think when, he went in against Joyce when he was young, people said he quit. He didn't quit, he had an eye damage. And since then, you've never seen him quit. And he's come back well. It's great to see him get the win after everything he's been through. But at any point, Fabio Wardley could have pulled that shot out of the bag. I mean, he had him down twice in the opening rounds. So, fair play to Dubois. Composed himself, believed in himself, and came through that fight and got the win in the end.
Chris Eubank Jr. weighed in on the Wardley versus Dubois showdown, calling it the biggest bout currently in British boxing, and even tagging it as a strong early contender for Fight of the Year 2026. Devin Haney also shared his reaction to the explosive heavyweight clash, briefly summing it up as an insane contest after witnessing the intense battle unfold. Meanwhile, Dave Allen applauded both fighters for their strength, durability, and readiness to engage in close exchanges. He felt the fight lived up to all expectations and emphasized just how balanced and dangerous the matchup proved to be from start to finish.
British boxing at the minute, 2 knockout punches, it's an old British heavyweight title fight. Dubois is probably more proven. He's been heavyweight champion before. Wardley, he is now the champion. He got given the title after beating Parker. That's his chance to prove that he is, the guy. It's a real 50-50 as well.
Some boxing analysts point out that referee stoppage criteria are not always consistent across different countries. They suggest that officials in the United States tend to allow fighters a longer chance to recover before stepping in, compared to some referees in the United Kingdom. In their view, if the same situation had occurred on American soil, the contest may have been allowed to continue for a longer stretch before being halted.
Shout out to my little brother Dubois with the mother win. Shout out to Dubois. But let me tell you something straight. You couldn't do that shit with me when I'm in shape. That's number one. And number two is, if Dubois or Wardley was American, they would have been stopped that fight. Let me tell you again. If Dubois or Wardley was an American fighter in the UK, as we've seen before, they would have been stopped that fight. That referee's known for stopping fights early. When Wardley fought Parker, Parker was nowhere as bloody and beaten up as badly as he was. And look how long it took the referee to stop that fight. This is the bias that happens in the UK. See for yourselves. But I tell you one thing, Dubois, I got mad love for you. Give me my rematch. I'm respect that.
Still, a large number of voices felt the stoppage came at the right moment. Curtis Woodhouse shared his thoughts on X, questioning what further evidence is needed before a corner decides to withdraw their fighter from a bout. He praised Wardley's toughness, calling him extremely durable, but added that sometimes fighters need to be protected from pushing beyond their limits. He also congratulated Dubois, describing the contest as an outstanding fight and an impressive display. Boxer Ty Mitchell offered a more critical perspective following the controversial ending to the Wardley-Dubois clash. He argued that boxing should not depend on referees stepping in to finish fights, believing that outcomes should only come through a knockout. In his view, stoppages take away from the traditional spirit of heavyweight boxing, where fighters are expected to endure punishment and either remain standing or be knocked out. Mitchell also felt that both Wardley and Dubois had shown enough toughness to continue even after the heavy exchanges and knockdowns they endured.
Everyone saying he was getting hit with big punches, he deserves to stop the fight. I hear it, yeah? Well, it's boxing, get to it. I don't think you should be able to stop a fight anyway. Someone has to get knocked out. Obviously, people can get hurt in the ring, I understand it, but that's boxing. Do you know what I mean? It can happen to anybody, but we know the risk when we get in there. Get fucking to it. And Fabio is mad dangerous when he's most dangerous when he's hurt. And he's the champion. And he was like towards the end of the fight, there's only like a round and a half left. Get to it. I'll have to watch it back because some people are saying that they thought Daniel was ahead on points. From what I saw with the 2 knockdowns, he wasn't for me because Fabio had a few other rounds in the fight as well. But yeah,
Daniel Dubois' trainer, Don Charles, pushed back firmly against claims suggesting Dubois had any intention of quitting following his stoppage victory over Fabio Wardley, saying many people are misreading what actually unfolded inside the ring. He explained that after Dubois was dropped early, he had to physically jolt him back into focus mid-fight to sharpen his mindset and channel his aggression in the right direction. Charles stressed that at no point did Dubois show surrender, instead highlighting how he stayed composed and fought back with discipline while under heavy pressure. He also supported the referee's decision to end the contest, pointing out that Wardley was absorbing continuous damage and appeared seriously compromised. According to Charles, boxing is not only about technical ability, but also about survival in difficult moments. Once Dubois regained control of the action, he said the shift in momentum became both clear and dangerous for his opponent. He went on to commend both men for their courage, while emphasizing that a corner's responsibility includes stepping in to safeguard their fighter when required. In his assessment, Dubois demonstrated toughness, corrected early errors, and produced a defining knockout performance in a punishing heavyweight battle.
through the fight, that first round, that first 10 seconds when you saw Daniel drop, what went through your mind? I spoke to Buddy McGirt after. Buddy said he probably helped Daniel because he helped wake him up.
Yeah, you know, this is heavyweight boxing. That can happen. When you got two big punches like that, that can happen. And yeah, he got up from it. Second round, he boxed good. Third round, he went heavy again. That was definitely not the script. That's not how it's supposed from our side. But you know what? Now I can say this. Obviously, we stayed calm. Yeah? And then the way it's been written, remember, this has all been written by the Most High. This has been written already. So we just have to wait for it, trusting God, and let it unfold as it's been written. And what you saw there is how it was written. Not by me. That's how it's been written.
As the fight was progressing, you started to see Daniel take more control of the fight. Fabio looking battered and bruised towards the end. I'm sure you won't mind me saying that, but incredible heart on Fabio's behalf.
Gladiators, there was no losers in there tonight. We came away as the winners, granted. There was no losers in there in my eyes.
Promoter Frank Warren described the Wardley versus Dubois showdown as a truly memorable heavyweight battle, ranking it among the finest events he has ever put together. He emphasized Daniel Dubois' remarkable ability to recover after being dropped early, while also commending Fabio Wardley for his courage in the face of significant punishment. Warren explained that the fight delivered exactly what fans hoped for, unfolding as a fierce, high-energy contest from start to finish. He pointed out that the opening moments alone set the tone, with knockdowns, shifting momentum, and non-stop exchanges that kept the atmosphere electric throughout. He further praised Wardley's determination, noting that even when he was in serious trouble, he continued to fight on without giving in. At the same time, Warren agreed that the referee's decision to stop the contest was justified for safety reasons, especially as Dubois began to take firm control in the later stages. He also suggested that a rematch clause is in place, leaving the door open for the rivalry to continue once both fighters recover. Wrapping up his assessment, Warren called it a standout night for British boxing and highlighted how the heavyweight division is producing thrilling domestic clashes and high-level drama.
But were even you surprised at the level of fight we saw tonight?
I thought it was going to be a really exciting, I said it, don't blink, it's going to be the most amazing few rounds. It was much better than that. It was just a phenomenal fight, phenomenal to watch, to witness and see these two guys, what they did there in their soul and getting up, and Daniel getting off the floor and canvas and coming back how he did, and it swung both ways to fight, and it was just a privilege to watch.
When you make these great heavyweight fights, I know you always want them to deliver, but nights like this must remind you why you do it all, right, Frank?
This is the best. I think this is the best fight card I've done. That's how good it was.
If it was a dream fight for Daniel next, who would you like to see Daniel fight?
Well, there is a rematch clause, so we'll see what happens.
If they decide to pass it for now.
We'll see what pans out in the next few months with all these various heavyweight fights that are happening, and that'll determine what's going to happen.
Moses of Town was WBO #1.
Correct.
Is that likely to be next?
It may well be, but there's lots of different fights and permutations. We're not going to definitely do it tonight, that's for sure. So let Daniel go away and enjoy himself. And as I say, there's a rematch clause in the contract.
Alexander Usyk has signaled his willingness to take on the winner of the Fabio Wardley versus Daniel Dubois clash, expressing a clear interest in pursuing further unification fights as he maintains control of the heavyweight scene. Following Dubois' stoppage win over Wardley in their intense battle, reports indicated that Usyk's team were open to the possibility of him facing the next champion if his title reign continues. His camp has consistently made it clear that they are targeting the biggest possible matchups, with both Wardley and Dubois viewed as realistic contenders should either of them secure or hold a major championship belt.
You've been fighting, the best of the best, for some years now. But this fight is more like a fun fight, as the people would say. How do you stay motivated, or how do you motivate yourself to going into this fight?
For me, it's a real fight. Yes, Rico not a good boxer, but it's okay, fun fight, no problem. But I want a next fight with who winner? Daniel Dubois and maybe Wardley.
Former fighter and boxing pundit Dave Coldwell shared his instant reaction after Daniel Dubois' stoppage win over Fabio Wardley, describing it as a remarkable heavyweight battle and commending both men for their resilience. He highlighted Wardley's exceptional durability, pointing out that he withstood heavy shots throughout without ever being knocked down, calling his toughness truly unique. Coldwell also admitted that prior to the bout, he was slightly favoring Wardley due to his reputation for breaking opponents down mentally and his proven toughness. He even expected Wardley to seize control early, especially after Dubois was dropped in the opening round. However, once Dubois steadied himself, Coldwell noted a clear shift in momentum as he began dictating the action with a sharp jab and damaging right hands. He praised Dubois for maintaining his composure under pressure, recovering from early trouble, and gradually wearing his opponent down as the fight progressed. In his final assessment, Coldwell said the contest was a privilege to witness, emphasizing the bravery, skill, and endurance shown by both fighters in a grueling heavyweight showdown.
It's a fight, and what a chin! I can't believe after all that, after all the punishment is all, Wardley still never be down. Incredible chin, the man built different, unbelievable, and what performance from Dubois. Incredible.
I know the fight's done now, but what did you expect to happen coming into it, and was you correct or not?
No, all right. I was sat on the fence. I'll be honest with you, I was sat on the fence, but I was leaning, because of his toughness, I was leaning towards Wardley. And I thought Wardley could take away Dubois' confidence. And I actually said I thought he'd take it away pretty early. And then when I saw him come out and he blasted him that first round, I thought, oh, here we go. But Dubois soaked it up, just kept going, dropped it back. I think he took a knee. I mean, I was sat, I think he took a knee using his brain, letting his head clear. Smart man, then goes back to business, breaking him up. The jab was fantastic for Dubois. I did say beforehand, I felt that was a real weapon for him. We talked about his right hand, but he's got a brilliant jab, and then the right hand can follow, and that's what was happening. But man, both of them were unbelievable, really were. It were a privilege to watch.
What's your take on the Dubois and Wardley heavyweight battle? Do you feel the referee made the correct call, or should the action have been allowed to continue for a few more rounds?